Hi and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about using the Task Manager. It deals with end user support. The programs I'm going to be using to do this are Cam Studio, which is a free screen recorder program, which allows me to present this information, and it shows you what I'm doing to my desktop. The other program that I would normally be using would be VMware Workstation, which is a virtual environment. It allows you to install operating systems within that virtual environment without taking up the hard drive resources. I've been having some issues with that lately. I was going to do this presentation on Windows 7, but for some reason every time I start that it freezes my computer up. So we're going to have to suffice for Windows Vista. Really quick, one of the reasons why I wanted to do Windows 7 is generally that's what people are moving towards, and XP is moving in the direction of becoming non-supported by Microsoft. To get started, what I'm going to do is just kind of do, like I said, an overview of Task Manager. And then for instance, let's say you have some programs up. So I'll open up Notepad. And normally, Task Manager would be used for different things, like closing different programs, opening programs. I'll see what programs are taking up the most CPU usage, things like that. So I have Notepad open here. I'm going to type some random text, and then I'll have my internet page up here. Normally this is google.com as my home page. And let's see, you have multiple things here. So now what I'm going to do is start Task Manager. There's two ways of doing this. The first way is you can right-click the clock down here at the bottom right-hand side of the screen and go to Task Manager. And this opens up the Task Manager window. And then from here what we can do is if you want to close Notepad, we can click on this, highlight it, and go to End Task, and then go ahead and End Now, and it ends that program right there. The same is true for google.com. We can do it that way as well. We can also, if you select New Task and type in the name of the program you want, such as Notepad, and click OK, it opens that up. A couple other things we can do is if we click the Process tab, if Notepad's running, we can sort this by the image name, and then go to, let's see, notepad.exe, and end it the same way. Same is true for any other program that's open. The Services tab is a big thing to use as far as spyware and viruses. If you suspect that you have some kind of malware or a Trojan or anything of that nature, most of the time you're going to see processes or services here that that you're unfamiliar with, and that could be an indication of bad files or Trojans or viruses on your computer. The Performance tab gives you kind of an overview of what's going on, how much CPU usage is being used up. And then the users, within users, you can disconnect different users, log off. Another cool thing we can do here is go back to Processes and click the CPU button. And this tells us the CPU usage is basically how much of the CPU's time is spent on that process. So right now, the one that's taking up the most resources is the Cam Studio, which I'm using to record this demonstration. Normally, if you don't have anything open, it would be the system process. And I think that's about it. Another note that we can do, actually, that I just remembered, if I open up Notepad again, we can right click on this, and we can actually go to the process to make it faster. And then if you right click on the notepad executable file from the process tab and go to set priority, you can set that. It's not recommended to change that because it can mess with the system, which can be kind of difficult to fix and diagnose. Another thing that you can do is set the affinity, what the affinity does, it allows you to limit which processors can run the selected process. But if you're like me, have a slower computer that just has a single core processor, it doesn't support hyperthreading or multiple cores. If you're not familiar with hyperthreading or multiple cores, it's a good idea to research that and get a better understanding as to what that is. There's a lot of information on that in little time, so I don't really want to go into detail about that. But normally, if you had a single core process, you would be allowed to set the affinity. If you have more than one processor, it should be just fine. Another thing that limits that is if you have Windows 7 in a virtual environment, like I was mentioning before with VMware, you wouldn't be allowed. Sometimes you wouldn't be allowed to set the affinity either. So once again, the overview is I covered a little bit about the different tabs of Task Manager, how to open and close processes, look at your CPU speed, how to check if there's different malware or viruses on your computer. And speaking of malware and viruses, if you're not sure about these processes or services, I believe Microsoft offers a search feature where you can type that process in and see if it's a legit program. And that concludes my video. I hope you guys got some information on this, and thank you for watching.